Hello everyone. In the previous video we studied about the population composition and the factors of it, that is rural urban composition and linguistic composition. In the linguistic composition I told you that there are almost 179 languages and 544 dialects in our country during the first linguistic survey of India, that is during 1928. But in context of modern India, there are only 22 scheduled official languages and there are number of non-scheduled languages. So today we will study about in detail the linguistic classification of major modern Indian languages. So let's begin. So the speaker of major Indian languages belong to four major language families, which have their subfamilies and branches or groups. So this can be understood by this table 1.2, that is classification of modern Indian languages. So there are four families. First is Ostric or Nishad. So its subfamily are Austroasiatic and Austronesian, and its branch includes Munda and Khmer. So Munda, you must be familiar with the Birsa Munda Stadium in Jharkhand. So this is a tribal population. So the area around those tribal people like West Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. These belong to Munda branch of Ostric family. Then non-Khmer includes Meghalaya and Nicobar Islands. Nicobar Island is a part of Andaman Nicobar Island, that is Union Territories of our country. Next, second major language which have more speaker in India is Dravidian or Dravid. So it has three sub branches, that is Southern Dravidian, Central Dravidian and North Dravidian. In the Southern Dravidian, speeches area includes Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. Tamil Nadu have mostly Tamil as their mostly speaking people. Then Karnataka comprises of Kannada as their major speaking language, and Kerala it is Malayalam. Then the Central Dravidian, that is Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, MP, Odisha and Maharashtra. So in Andhra, Telugu is much popular language. So all this part of Dravidian family. Then there is the North Dravidian, which includes Bihar, Odisha, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. So by moving from southern to north, same from the branches are divided, that is from southern, central and northern. And the minority, that is least number of speaking people is of Sino-Tibetan or Kirta. So it has subfamily Tibeto-Myanmari and Siamese Chinese. So which the branch it includes is Tibeto-Himalayan, that is the hilly states, that Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Sikkim. Then North Assam branch includes Arunachal Pradesh, and Assam Myanmar includes part of Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura and Meghalaya. That the northeastern states. And the most majorly speaking peoples are of Indo-European or Aryan, that is 73%, and its subfamily is Indo-Aryan, and it includes the branch Iranian, Dardic and Indo-Aryan. So Iranian is speaking in the mostly Gulf country, that is Iran, Iraq and some part of Afghanistan. So speeches area are outside of India. And the next is Dardic. This language mostly speak in the area of Jammu Kashmir and Balochistan area. And next is Indo-Aryan. So mostly Hindi speaking people are part of this Indo-Aryan family, that is the states of Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, Rajasthan, MP and all. These are the part of Indo-Aryan speaking people or Hindi speaking people. So this is all about linguistic composition of India. So next is religious composition. as you know that religion is the most dominant forces which affect our cultural, political, social life in India. So they are very religions which are followed in our country. So you can understood this by the given table, that is religious community of India. uh, o- these datas are from 2011 census. So the majority of religion comprises Hindu. The population is around 966 million. That is almost 80% of people are Hindu in our country. Next is Muslim. So Muslim are the largest religious minority in our country, which comprise of 14.2%, and they are mostly in they are majority in Kashmir Valley and Lakshadweep Union territories, and they have majority in certain district of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal and Kerala. So next is Christian. So Christian is 2.3%, third largest religious group in our country, and they are distributed mostly in rural area of our country, and mostly in the part of western coast around Goa and Kerala, and then in Nagaland, and mostly in the northeastern state, that is Nagaland, Mizoram, Meghalaya, and Manipur. So fourth one is Sikh. So Sikhs are the fourth most largest religious group, or you can say the third largest minority in our group, India. That is they comprise of almost 1.7, that is almost around 2% in India, and they are particularly in the state of Punjab, Haryana, and in Delhi. So next is Buddhist and Jains. So they are small religious group in India, less than of 1%, and they are mostly concentrated in the urban areas in Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. So Buddhist, next is Buddhist. So Buddhist in Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Ladakh in J&K, and in Lahore Spiti in Himachal Pradesh. So there are other religion also which are followed in India. They are also less than 1%. They include Zoroastrian, tribal, and other indigenous faiths and beliefs. So this all about religious composition of our country. So next is composition of working population. So as I have told you, the population of India according to economic status can be divided into three main group. That is main worker, marginal worker, and non-worker. Look at the definition of this in this box, that is standard census definition. Main worker. So main worker is a person who works for at least 183 days or at least 6 months in a year, and marginal worker is who works less than 6 months in a year. So these are standard census definition. You must note down this definition. So it is observed that proportion of worker, that is both main worker and marginal worker, is only 39.8%. In round figure, only 40% of total population of our country. It means that 60% are non-worker in our country, which indicates an economic status, that is larger proportion are dependent population. So which are can be termed as unemployed or underemployed people. You must be familiar with the term disguised employment in your economics book. So mostly people are dependent population in our country. So by this table you can see the sectoral composition of workforce in our India. So category. So as you know that there are three major category in our country, that is primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary is related to agriculture sector, then secondary is related to manufacturing, and tertiary to the service sector. So primary sector total percentage of worker are 54.6%. That is the largest number of workers which are involved in primary sector. And next is tertiary, that is service sector, trade and commerce, which includes 41.6%. This sector is the most share in GDP sector. In fact, lesser number of worker as compared to primary sector. And the last is secondary, which includes 3.8% total working population, which are involved in manufacturing sector. In the figure 1.4, India occupational structure, there are have been shown the different states and their composition of workers, that is in cultivator, agriculture area, other workers, and household workers, and all the states with respect to worker in percentage. For example, J&K, they are almost 25% people which are involved in agriculture lab, then almost 17% involved in cultivators, then almost 3 to 4% involved in household industries worker, and rest 55% in are involved in other workers. So similarly you can study this table of your own state. And the last topic of this chapter is gender gap. So in this newspaper reported gender India better than its neighbor. Actually in gender development index is similar to human development index, and it is also given by United Nations development program, and it also comprised of some factor like purchasing power parity, life expectancy, and literacy rate of women. So there are various factors which involves this. According to this report, India is on 96th rank out of 177 country of gender development index. That is the condition of women's in our country. So and Bangladesh is on 102, Pakistan is on 105, and our neighbor, that is Sri Lanka, is much ahead than our country, that is on 68. So there has been comparison of women at minister level. So India has less number of women at a minister level. So at central level of ministry, India has less number of women, which represents at ministerial level, that is 3.4% only. So as though it has been thinking that women are biological and natural weak as compared to men. So natural and biological factor are other thing, but some social construct or some society which influence their role, and which think biological difference as the basis of social difference. So they tend to discriminate and exclusion of women. So the exclusion of over half of the population, that is almost 50% of population, from a developing and civilized society, it become very difficult to country to develop. So there is a famous statement of United Nations Development Program, that is, if development is not engendered, that is based on gender, that is man and woman, it is endangered. So it means it will be in danger situation. This statement had taken from United Nations Development Program from 1995. So a society which fails acknowledge and take effective measures to remove such discrimination cannot be treated as civilized society. So even though government has started various programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, still in our country there are large number of women which got discriminated on various bases. And there are some facts that the number of female workers is relatively high in primary sector than male families. then the male population.